It is now time for the least mediocre of all the mediocre sports talk shows in the Mid-South. It's time for the Eye on Sports with B-Ball Jones. Every weekday morning at 8 o'clock, right here on AM 730. Here we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Eye on Sports with B-Ball Jones. The Eye on Sports is Ira Lipsy. He's back there getting the YouTube Live set up. You can watch us on YouTube Live. Search for, I can't remember our new call letters. What is it? It's WMQM. WMQM, YouTube Live. You can watch us there. You can listen to us, AM 1600. Coming soon, FM 93.3. Hopefully you're listening. If you're listening, you don't need any of that information because you've already found us. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to even talk about that. But as I said, Ira Lipsy, the Eye on Sports Behind the Glass. I am B-Ball Jones, Jay Brenner, back after a day off. I caught yesterday's show, Ira. It was terrific. Really, really outstanding show.
You're too kind.
Thank you.
No, I mean it. I mean, you're too kind.
I understand. I think today we're going to talk Penny Watch. I know today we're going to talk Penny Watch because it's getting real. It is getting real, folks. We've said for a long time, we'll believe the hype when it turns into some results on the recruiting trail. Well, it has, actually long ago there were results on the recruiting trail with these local guys, Wiseman, Jeffries, Dandridge, Damian Baugh. But now, basically 3 days in a row, 3 days out of 4 days, they have just one after another signed elite guards. These are guards, okay? So loading up on the perimeter shooters before I left the end of last week, Lester Quinones.
It's funny, on my text chain with a bunch of buddies, everybody's spelling his name differently.
Yeah.
But phonetically.
Right.
Like one guy's got it spelled Queen, like Queen. Yoan. Yon.
Quinones.
Easy. Quinones. And then someone else has it like Keyno, whatever. Whatever. A bunch of different variations. It's pretty funny.
So they got him. He's apparently, look, I'm not a scout, okay? I haven't scouted these guys yet, Ira. Not a scout.
B-Ball Jones.
He's a shooter. And then they get the Rajon Tucker kid, also a shooter, and now Boogie Ellis, also a shooter.
His name is also Rajon.
Now, of course, we've heard that before, that guys are shooters, and then seen him come in and not shoot well.
Wait a minute. The Tiger son Booger from Revenge of the Nerds?
No, not Dudley Dawson.
Oh, Boogie
Ellis.
Yeah.
So
it's quite a haul so far.
No, it's really pretty incredible. And I keep thinking, God, it's a lot of guards, but they just lost 3 guards that played significant minutes. Guard forwards that played significant minutes, and Antoine Jones, Jeremiah Martin, Kareem Bruton, all played significant minutes, along with Lomax Harris. So when Quinones signed, and maybe even when Tucker signed, I sort of thought, or I don't remember which one it was, I thought, God, could Tyler Harris be out? Now they add yet another guard, Boogie Ellis. So I guess you could expect to see certainly 3 guard sets, but maybe even some 4 guard sets around Wiseman. The one thing that I feel confident about is that these coaches know how they want to play. I don't know how they want to play, nor do I know how they should play. Again, even though my name is B-Ball Jones, I don't fashion myself an X's and O's guy. But everything you hear from these kids that sign with Memphis is that the coaching staff really sells them on specifically the role they have in mind for them. And I don't know why I happen to believe it with these guys, but it just seems as if they did a good job last year of putting people in roles that sort of worked for them. After the kind of first month that they didn't do a good job of that, they sort of got the hang of it. So we shall see. These are high-level guys, but not, I was looking at this Ellis guy. He's a He's not a 5-star, so he's not really a one and done. As far as I can tell, Ira, he is a top 50. Quinones was top 50. Ellis, top 50, 37 overall, but that's not one and done. Definitely top notch. But how tall is he? 6'2". So this guy's a 2-year guy, 3-year guy. I mean, who knows? You just never know, right? You get Antoine Jones, he's a 3-year guy, he's gone. So you could see some of that, but who cares? This is about gearing up. It's May right now. These kids are going to be on campus in the next 2 months, matriculating.
More like the next 2 or 3 weeks, Jay.
Yeah, it could be.
Summer school starts 1st of June, so.
Well, you work there, so you would know. But, first session.
First of all, I'm an independent contractor.
Yeah.
That does work for the university.
Exactly.
Okay. Not on salary or anything.
Right, but you know the summer school schedule.
Just because I asked somebody.
Right. But so you're right, they may be first session. A lot of times they come second session, though. But either way, you're right. I mean, it's probably sooner than what I said. Within the next month or so, these kids are going to be on campus. They're going to be working with the coaches. They're going to be getting acquainted with the student body. And Ira...
nothing is like getting acquainted with student bodies.
Exactly. They will be getting acquainted with the student body, and they're going to be playing basketball for the Tigers. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the Tigers are going to be, and Memphis is going to be a top 10 team going into the year. Maybe 15, whatever, who knows. But they're going to be ranked going into the year. They're going to be preseason favorites in the conference.
Your preference.
Top 1 or 2.
Preseason ranking. You want them to be as low as possible or as high as possible?
Yeah, you mentioned that the other day. Don't care. I don't care. I just find it noteworthy that Memphis is now going to be a team in the conversation immediately at the start of next year. No, I prefer them to be. I don't know what I would prefer. Who cares? I want them to be.
No,
good.
I mean I know it doesn't really matter. I like to say I kind of like it for a team to be, between 15 and 20, but no higher.
Yeah.
Because you want to win your early games and move up, as opposed to, you start at 5, and if you lose one of these early season games, you can go down pretty quickly, and then it's harder to go back up, especially because we're not in the toughest conference in the country. You're not playing, Duke and North Carolina and Syracuse and Louisville, night in and night out, and it makes it a little bit tougher to move up. So I'd rather start a little bit lower and work your way up than to start higher and then risk dropping fast and then having to work your way up against the conference schedule.
Yeah, the conference, not to get too in the weeds on that yet, because we got some time. But, Houston.
No, it's not bad. It's just
Central
not the same.
Florida lost some guys. Cincinnati lost their coach. Who am I forgetting? Connecticut should be better.
They should be better. You know who's going to be better?
Memphis?
Story that I wanted to mention quickly.
Oh, yeah, please. This is good, yeah.
KJ Lawson headed to Tulane to play for Ron Hunter.
What an interesting twist. And that'll add some juice. I mean, theoretically, he should be, the best player on that team.
I thought you were going to say theoretically he should be a doctor by now.
I mean, he was recruited by Larry Finch. No, just kidding. He
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, legend. Yeah, that's an interesting twist.
What I was going to say is this, because I was thinking about it.
And what a great city to be in.
It's a great city to be in, hopefully. What I was going to say is that, and I'm not saying KJ Lawson's a bad kid, because I don't know him. All I know, what a lot of people remember is on his way out of town, the Instagram post, whatever. That's what people remember.
And he's a kid, but yeah.
And he's a kid, but I mean, all you can really do is go by what you remember, what you recall. I'm saying is this. In the immortal words of the Godfather, James Brown, Papa don't take no mess. So either he's going to, I'm saying, either he's going to be a good citizen,
Ron Hunter,
or he'll be asked to leave. I mean, Ron Hunter's not, he doesn't mess around.
Yeah, it's a good situation for. It's just interesting that he's in Memphis. He leaves. He goes to Kansas. It's like, hey, I'm leaving you suckers behind. And then Memphis. I mean, obviously, this is not the same Memphis that he left.
No, not at all.
It's the same Memphis he thought maybe he was joining under Pastner when they had his brother and Austin Nichols and who was the Charlie Moore and Markel Crawford and the point guard that was at Kansas last year, and he's transferring too. He originally committed to Memphis. He never came here, but he had committed. He was in that class.
If you say so.
Nick Marshall. And Memphis had a bunch of top 100 guys. Nothing like what they have now, to be honest with you.
Right.
What Memphis has now is I don't think either of us have the context necessarily at our fingertips the way we might or care. But what Memphis is doing in the recruiting world now is unprecedented. I saw a statistic. This may have been Commercial Appeal, may have been Daily Memphian, may have been a national guy. But in terms of getting two, I don't want to say it because I'm going to mess it up. But the type of class that he's putting together in his second year is really, it's not unprecedented, but it's in elite company. And by he, I mean Penny Hardaway.
Right.
It was compared to Calipari's second class. I think that was maybe if he gets the Precious Achua, which people expect that he's going to, by the way. And then at that point, you're looking at a 5-star number one kind of lottery pick guy in the middle, another really strong, top 50 4-star power forward, small forward guy in Jeffries, another power 5-star Precious Achua, and then all this talent around the perimeter. It's really incredible.
Most of the stuff I've read, they feel like Achua's a one-and-done guy.
Yeah,
well.
Right. 2 one-and-dones and a bunch of really. I mean, this is like a Kentucky-type roster that he's putting together. I cannot, honestly, I can't believe it. Like, let's just speak freely here, like we're not on the radio. I can't believe he's doing this.
It is amazing. I agree. Here's a question for you.
I did not think, I want to get to your question. I did not think Penny Hardaway was going to be able to go out to San Diego, which is where this kid's from, and up to New Jersey. I don't care if he's paying suitcases full of money, because other people are. Like, I did not think he was going to be able to get kids like that, period. I didn't think he would work hard enough. Because, and this is, I'm going to be totally hypocritical here. I still want to get to your question. I don't like calling it working hard because I think that's ridiculous. Because we know how the game gets played. But within the people that play the game, you still have to outwork the other people that are playing the game. And he's doing that. And that's surprising to me. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that I read a tweet last night by some guy that said, if they get Precious Achua on the team, then it's the most talented team in Memphis basketball history. And I think it's a little early.
Maybe. I mean,
it might.
It's in the conversation.
It might end up being, but let's hit the brakes a little bit on that. I like to take it slow. I like to wait and see if the guys sign. They're on their way to getting, the class complete, and then I would like to see what they can do on the court. I mean, there's a lot of, it's hard for me to get overly excited in general, just because. Sorry, you've been around so long. There's a lot of best case scenarios. Best case scenario is everybody comes in, everybody's. Stays out of trouble. Everybody plays. Everybody's happy. Lots of wins. Get into the tournament. Advance, to the second weekend. And everybody's excited for next year because even though someone's leaving and someone else is leaving, we got more recruits in the pipeline, and it's going to be great. Best case scenario. There's a lot of worst case scenarios. People don't get along. People get in fights. People want to leave. People get in trouble. I don't.
The good news on that front is we didn't see any of that last year. And I'm not saying it didn't happen, but we didn't see any of it last year.
Exactly. I mean, there was.
But that's all that really matters.
That matters. It doesn't.
And then winning.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's all that matters. It doesn't necessarily matter if we see it or not. If it's affecting the play,
No, that's right. I mean,
that does matter a lot. So,
but they had an improved year last year relative to where they had been.
They had an improved year. I just, I'm hoping that it's everything.
Look, I just had a theory. I just birthed a theory.
Oh God!
You ready? Here it is. When Memphis is successful in college basketball, by and large, in our lifetime, let's do this, Ira, because you were born after the '73 team, so I don't really know how that came about.
Okay.
I know Clean Gene was supposedly clean, but I doubt it. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
In our lifetime, when Memphis is successful in college basketball, their reputation as a program is blank. Go ahead.
When Memphis is successful in basketball.
When Memphis has been successful in college basketball in our lifetime, their reputation as a program is blank.
Dirty.
Yeah, a little bit dirty, right? A little bit down and dirty, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of been a renegade program. Not quite like UNLV, but let's face
Only
it.
because we weren't as flashy as that.
Right. Well, just face it. From a brand perspective, we're not talking about, Duke. Although, don't get me started. But right. Or Michigan. By the way, we'll talk about John Beilein leaving. Although Michigan was dirty, but like recent Michigan.
Yeah.
Trying to think of somebody else.
Well, I really don't think he was dirty.
No, they were saying he's the one college coach that wasn't. But anyway, there has never been, here's the theory, bottom line, one sentence. You ready? There has never been a better time in college basketball to be dirty than right now. Because nobody cares. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. What could come out as a black eye?
Dead on, balls accurate.
Nobody cares. Because everybody's decided the kids should get some money. So it's not a black eye. Oh, Will Wade pays $500,000 for
all the attention that was paid to the ongoing trial in New York.
Yeah.
The trial's over.
Right, exactly.
And no one said anything about the fact that they got convicted on like one count of something and a lot of the other counts got dismissed. I mean, it just went completely by the wayside once they realized they weren't going to nab any coaches for anything.
Yeah.
It's over. I mean, no one said anything.
Yeah, and so, look, I used to think a couple of years ago that there was never a better time to be clean because I thought this trial was going to really kill some people, and it didn't, mainly because the media ignored it, which is, I guess, fine. Hey, look, at the end of the day, what I care about most, and at the beginning of the day, because this is pretty early in the day, to be honest with you, it's Memphis winning and being at that elite level, and it looks like that's going to happen. I don't care how it came about. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Screw Tubby.
Oh, shucks. I did not mean to do that.
That's okay.
But I didn't mean to do that. You want to take a little break, Jay?
Yeah, we'll take a break.
We'll come back. I want to talk about some NBA stuff. We'll continue to talk about this pending stuff. But one thing I did not get to yesterday, I'll be remiss if I don't mention it today, is Frank Vogel, no relation to Scott.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
And Jason Kidd going to the Los Angeles Lakers to be the new head coaching tandem. And a lot of the criticism that's been going on with that, as far as how they treated Tyronn Lue, whether or not Frank Vogel was in desperation mode to get that, take that job, and how they, the whole 3-year deal or whatever. It's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of things to keep straight in the duder's head, but
we'll talk about it after the break.
Stuff to mention about that. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We'll be right back. You're listening to the Eye on Sports with B-Ball Jones, AM 1600, WMQM, YouTube live streaming. Be there or be something else.
Bud Light presents Real American Heroes. Real American Heroes. Today we salute you, Mr. Golf Ball Washer Inventor. Mr. Golf Ball Washer Inventor. The time-honored game of golf is the sport of kings.
Oh, that's so good.
And kings don't play with dirty balls. Don't play dirty. Because of you, we can give our balls a sudsy tumble at every tee. The result, clean, shiny balls every time we whack them. Drive after drive, putt after putt, hole after hole, our dimpled balls stay clubhouse clean. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Launderer on the
You have
links.
something else? You said it was pretty cool there,
in our
these guys.
thoughts every time we jiggle our balls. Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Thank you. Well, the question is, how much is it going to work out, right? Like, there's no way they don't make the tournament next year, right? I don't see how it's possible. Fucking parents on there yesterday, and it's like, they're a legit Final Four today. That's what I'm saying. It's a Kentucky type roster. Like, I think what people look for.
Hey folks, the Eye on Sports here, and I'm here to tell you about some top-notch lawyers who are ready to work hard for you and to give you the attention and respect you deserve. It's Douglas and Runger. Kurt Runger and his crew will work hard for you in a number of different type cases, including personal injury, divorce and family law, probate law, bankruptcy, criminal defense, and even immigration. Let Kurt and BartlettLawyers.com represent you the next time you require legal counsel. Their firm has over 50 years of experience, and that will go a long way when it comes to taking your case. You can find them on the web at BartlettLawyers.com or call them at 388-5805. That's 388-5805. BartlettLawyers.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Eye on Sports with B-Ball Jones, the man, the myth, the legend.
Let's hit this Lakers thing quick, because I do want to come back to what we were talking about at the break.
We will hit it quickly. Frank Vogel has agreed to a 3-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers to be their head coach, and he has agreed to make Jason Kidd his top assistant. Now, when they were looking at Tyronn Lue, they offered him a 3-year deal. He would only take 5 years. He did not want them to dictate to him who he chose as his assistants. And I was listening to some national sports talk radio, and they were kind of giving some crap to Frank Vogel about, well, he just had to take some type of job, and he's willing to take the 3 years. He's willing to take Jason Kidd on as his assistant. First of all, it's not like Jason Kidd is not some guy who hasn't proven he's a capable coach. He proved that in Milwaukee.
He's a coach in waiting is the problem.
Here's the thing. So whether or not
he's a bronze guy,
whether or not he's the coach in waiting, that's fine. But you're Frank Vogel. You take a 3-year deal, which means you're going to get paid all the money. Okay? Let's just say next year, Frank Vogel and LeBron, and they win the championship. Which probably doesn't seem likely based on their roster and whatever they're doing, but let's just say it happens. They win the championship. Well, guess what? I mean, now he's a world championship winning coach, and he took the job so he could coach LeBron for at least a year. And whether or not, Jason Kidd's the coach in waiting, it was the right move for Frank Vogel. If it doesn't work out, who gets the blame, really?
Yeah.
The Lakers front office gets the blame. LeBron gets the blame. Frank Vogel's probably third or fourth in line on who gets the blame if it doesn't work out there. So
yeah, that's true.
To me, despite the fact that it is kind of, wonky, it really is a can't-lose situation.
I'll be honest with you. I like it better than they brought in Tyronn Lue and given him a 5-year deal. I like this better.
I'm with you. I agree.
From the Lakers' standpoint, and from Vogel, you're right. What do you have to lose? You got nothing to lose. And I'll tell you this. Ira. I Googled Frank Vogel to kind of, because I read about when he took over Indiana, and I sort of forgot about the history. He took over for a guy named Jim O'Brien. Do you remember Jim O'Brien?
Absolutely. He got into the finals.
Right. Do you remember Do you remember what was a distinctive feature about Jim O'Brien?
No.
He had the Paulie Walnuts wings.
Yeah.
The white wings.
Yeah.
What are those called?
It's just like, it's like gray on the sides.
Yeah. The gray Paulie Walnuts. Side tops. He took over for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a decent coach, and Kid's there. And yeah, if they get off to a slow start, and Braun wants Kid, they go with Kid. I think Jason Kidd's a good coach.
Sure.
And he turned Milwaukee around. He had the Nets competitive.
Yeah.
In the time that he was there.
I don't disagree.
And screw it,
Hey, someone said that the Tigers are going to be playing in the Barclays Center. Is that right?
Yeah, I think NC State.
NC State.
Yeah. So back to what we talked about at the break. You mentioned that Gary Parrish over on one of the other stations, national college basketball writer for CBS Sports, mentioned that Memphis was a Final Four contender as of today with this roster.
I think he may have said if they get a Chua also.
Oh, if they get a Chua.
Or whatever. They're definitely a contender with what they have today, and then if they get a Chua, then they're Final Four national championship contender.
Yeah. It's not my place to agree or disagree with that. Quite frankly, he knows a lot more about what other teams have and how that fits in. But it's encouraging to hear that, and I have no problem believing that. Because what I think we all forget, as you talk about guys like Rajon Tucker and Boogie Ellis and
I prefer to call him Rajon Ellis.
Lester Quinones, is they have the best big man in the country coming in.
Yeah.
It's like super athletic, runs the floor, defensive stopper. And these guys, let me ask you this, because I already answered it to a buddy of mine. If you could pick one of these two people to coach a super talented team, who would you pick? Penny Hardaway or Josh Pastner?
I'd have to go with Penny Hardaway.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like what he showed me, we don't have a lot to go on.
Right.
But what he showed me last year is that he can kind of coach. They weren't fully prepared every game. There were some games where like, oh man, they really showed up flat. But like, they got better as the year went on. They were playing some of their best basketball. Do you remember the tournament game against Houston? Houston was a damn good team last year. Did they go to the Sweet 16? I think they did.
Oh, yeah.
It was a damn good team, and Memphis had them, played them tough. And it was a home game. Played them really tough. Beat UCF, beat the snot out of a good UCF team twice. A team that took Duke to the wire
buzzer
in the tournament. Penny had his guys up, ready to play them twice, and competitive down there. They were not a good road team last year, and that could be a concern.
If only I would choose Penny Hardaway over Josh Pastner in regard to your question, if only for the fact that he can relate to the actual players because he played basketball. When it comes to the coaching part, I still think there's things that need to be shown on his end. I don't disagree that some guys got better, some guys really didn't get better. The team overall did get better, but I think that when Pastner started to, first of all, we know about his substitution style, if you want to call it that. We know about what it's supposed, some of his game planning, which seemed non-existent. But when that stuff sort of went downhill, he couldn't really get the guys back.
I only use that as because what does Pastner have to do with this? Nothing. He has nothing to do with this. But I only use that as an example of your average, maybe below average, but just your average college basketball coach.
Well, wait a minute. It has more to do with it than what you really actually probably meant, because he's a guy who brought in the last really big-time class.
That's what I meant. Right.
Yeah.
No. What I meant to say is you take a super talented group of kids and an average college basketball coach,
right,
maybe slightly below average, but an average college basketball coach, and would you want just random Joe Blow coach with this group, or would you want Penny Hardaway? I would want Penny Hardaway, and that tells me that I think he's an above-average coach. From what I could tell, from the limited amount, I didn't have to Because I was there, up to my knees in rice patties, duking it out with Charlotte.
You were here listening to the Beatles albums, wearing headbands.
Oh, great scene.
Yeah.
No,
I'm with you. I mean, as far as it goes, I mean, I think right now, with, obviously getting the types of players he's getting, there's no... all the players really have to go by that, when they were 10 years old or 8 years old, Memphis was in the Final Four with Derrick Rose. There's not some long... I mean, there's a long history going back, but it's, since the Final Four, they had some NCAA appearances, but, first round appearances, second round appearances, nothing, no big runs to make, to stick in a kid's mind. So, obviously he has made enough of an impression that he can get it done as a coach, floor coach. And he's, he can relate. I mean, all those guys on his coaching staff were all players, NBA guys, and so they can relate to these kids that can say, hey, look, we know what we're doing. Whether or not you're going to be an NBA player, you're going to know how to play ball, at that, that level of basketball IQ at least. Mm-hmm. Because what I always said was, from the first game last year, is I'd be interested to see how well Memphis does out of bounds plays. Mm-hmm. In the NBA, it's like there's always every team has hundreds of out of bounds plays. Whether it's from the side, from the baseline, etc. And Memphis scored. I wish I could see the statistics, but Memphis scored like almost every time out of an out of bounds play when they inbounded. On the opponent's side of the court. Because that's what Sam Mitchell probably did, like every 20 times a game when he was an NBA coach. All right, guys, here's the huddle. Let's go. Let me draw it up real quick. Here's the inbounds play. Boom, basket. And in the NBA, you see they score a lot off the inbounds play. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun year. And you mentioned Sam Mitchell. He and Mike Miller and maybe even Tony Allen, those guys want head jobs. So they want to parlay this year into a career for themselves. And the more recruiting success that Memphis has, the more on-court success they have, obviously. So those guys are going to be bought in.
I wonder if being the baseball PA will give me any type of positioning for assistant coach when one of those guys has to leave.
It's worth floating your... Do you have a resume? Do you have a resume, Ira? I know you're an independent contractor.
Do I have a resume? That's a good question. I'd have to make a new one.
Yeah.
I probably hadn't had to use a resume in a long time.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. Probably not. I just want to let you down easy on that.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
Yeah. Maybe if they need somebody to watch the jocks,
easy,
like Takashi and Revenge of the Nerds.
That's a little bit below my pay grade.
Smell this one, nerd.
Oh, thank you. I have that somewhere too.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, someone did something in the system and erased all my stuff. So.
I'm really proud of you for the top notch situation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. Jay, a couple other things I wanted to get to.
You mentioned NBA.
Let's talk about coaches.
Besides Vogel. Oh yeah, Beeline.
Yeah. For one, there was a lot of speculation that Brett Brown would be ixnayed, 76th, 76th, released, fired, canned, parting ways under mutual agreement with the 76ers if they were not able to get to the conference finals just based on the roster they had. But now the reports are that he's going to be staying in Philly for at least another year. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned yesterday on the show, I don't know if you heard it, but I think that's a good idea. They can have some roster issues there. They don't have much depth. Whether or not Embiid and Simmons together is a good fit is questionable. If I ask you right now, would you rather have Ben Simmons or would you rather have Joel Embiid on your team? What would you say?
I'm the least qualified person to make that assessment, but for argument's sake...
You're least qualified, but you're probably not the most qualified.
For argument's sake, I guess I'd say Embiid.
That's a fact.
I would say
You're way off. I say you're way off.
First of all, Embiid is, he's had some injury issues, and not just some injury issues, but, with his size, I think it's future would be more of a, a factor.
Yeah, more of a question mark.
And I think that the way they want to play, if you got Ben Simmons running the point and you got super wings like Harris and Butler and Redick, I mean, you're really not. You're going to get bogged down with Embiid.
Well, the other thing I said about the guy really can't shoot, right?
Yeah, but if you got guys that can score like Harris and Butler and Redick, you really don't have to. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them try and unload Embiid for some depth and some picks, but you know what? The truth is, I don't really care what they do.
Here's an article.
Yeah. Well, hey,
I found one.
It's about time somebody had an article.
This is on CBSSports.com by Michael Kaskey-Blomain.
Whoa.
We all read his stuff.
Yeah.
He says the 76ers could explore a Ben Simmons for LeBron James trade this summer.
Okay.
What do you think about that, Ira?
What I think is that LeBron James is not leaving Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I don't think that's what. I think he's at a point now where he's got his family in LA. That's what he wants to be doing. I think it's whatever. Anyway, hey, so what do you think? What do you think about Beeline?
Beeline made a beeline for the door.
That's crazy.
Nah, it's not that crazy. I mean, he's old, so it's the time to make the move, I guess.
And the time to make the move would have been 10 years ago.
John Beeline is 66. He can go coach. I mean, I don't understand the move from he's a good coach. So what, Cleveland wants a good coach there? I guess who turned the tide on the whole college to the pros thing is the kid out in Boston.
Yeah, but he was also 33.
Brad Stevens. Yeah, I mean, let's throw age out the door for a minute and just say, look, you're looking at the next 8 years. Forget that. The next 3 to 5 years of your franchise and getting back to a competitive place. And there's no indication.
That's the other reason why I can't believe he would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, maybe he's like, look, I'm not really concerned about winning an NBA championship. I just want to teach, pros on the next level how to play basketball.
No, that's it. Yeah, he's there to develop a program, just like in college. Draft some guys, get them in, coach them up, teach them the right way to play. It'll be interesting to see.
Right, but if you're doing that on the college level and your program's struggling, then you're only talking about 35 games where you have to endure, a 10 and 25 season.
Mm-hmm.
This is the NBA, baby, and you're going to go 15 and 62 is whatever it is. That's a long, long season of losing.
Yeah.
No matter how much you love teaching basketball, that's going to be a tough mental challenge, plus a tough physical challenge. I mean, it's a lot of travel, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they travel the right way, though. But they always travel the right way. Yeah. So let's see who's up for Michigan, you think? I love a little coaching carousel. Yeah. Crank it up, effers.
What do you think? Think they go with a young guy, or you think they go with I don't know, kind of a retread? I mean,
what about Thad Matta? He's out there.
That'd be interesting. What about Tommy Amaker?
He didn't really get a job. Amaker? Well, they had him already, didn't they?
I know.
Nah, they ain't going back there. No, I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably go a mid-major. That's how they got. I mean, he came from West Virginia.
Yeah.
And what if they went and got? Old Ricky Barnes?
That'd be interesting.
And he said he wanted to leave for UCLA. They just wouldn't pay his buyout.
I know. Well, thank goodness he prayed on it too, though.
I love it when Tennessee basketball gets really good and then crashes hard. It seems to happen a lot, but then they get good again.
Yeah.
I hate those bastages. Hey, the lottery's tonight, Ira.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. It's
that would be the NBA draft lottery.
Could be big.
What do you have any predictions?
No.
I love predicting random mathematical.
Yeah, I'm going to predict that Memphis falls somewhere between 1 and 16.
It's a good, safe. Yeah. Safe prediction.
Well, I like to play it.
You going to be watching? Are you having a lottery party?
Actually, tonight will be the last unofficial but official home game of the Memphis baseball season.
Are they in the tournament or are they not in the tournament?
haven't been able to get a straight answer on that. I'll have to look at the break and see if I can give you a definite answer.
What happened to the cattle? I never got a straight answer. It was something with their teeth.
Is that from
Defending your life? He invested in cattle instead of Casio.
That's right. That's so funny. No, tonight is the final game in Memphis for the University of Memphis baseball team. It's actually not in Memphis, it's in Millington at the USA Stadium. 6 o'clock against UT Martin in the Babe Howard Classic. What's so funny?
Babe Howard.
I'll tell you about Babe Howard when we
Is that the sports babe?
God, thank God, no. Babe Howard, I'll tell you about Babe Howard when we come back. But yeah, final game tonight. If you want to hear me for the last time doing PA, last time this season, maybe the last time. But
when do you find out if your contract is renewed?
I don't know. I'm sure they'll let me know. As long as I don't know about this show, I'm in good shape.
Right. I think that's what got you the job, to be honest.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
Well, who knows?
You know.
All right, anyway, we got to take a break because we're running low on time. So we'll be right back. We'll talk more about that. And, of course, we got to do some retro news. Ion Sports, B-Ball Jones, AM 1600, WMQM Memphis, YouTube Live. We'll be right back.
Budents, real American heroes. Real American heroes. Today we salute you, Mr. Chinese food delivery guy. Mr. Chinese food delivery guy. Without you, we'd be forced to do the unthinkable when we wanted Chinese food. Drive to a restaurant. But you, sir, bring it to us in under 20. Ride like the wind. Armed with your rickety bike, you battle traffic, bad weather, and the occasional busted elevator. And why do you do it? Because somewhere a guy is waiting for his Kung Pao crab puffs, and he's got $1.57 with your name on it. That's 10%. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh mercenary of the Mandarin chicken, and know that when America is looking for a man to get the job done, you do deliver. You deliver. Bud Light beer has a St. Missouri.
Time to make the donuts.
Don't be a chump. Get a decent night's sleep for once. But all the nice folks will want fresh Dunkin' Donuts.
It takes a lot of willpower to make Dunkin' Donuts fresh day and night.
But we think it's worth it.
But we think it's worth it.
And you think it's worth it. There's something really delicious in this week's newspaper. Look for Dunkin' Donuts money-saving coupon in your local newspaper.
Hey Memphis, it's the Ion Sports here, and while many of you know me as the co-host of the Ion Sports with B-Ball Jones, or as the extraordinary PA guy for the University of Memphis baseball team, as luck would have it, I'm also a real estate agent. My firm, Lipsy Realty, can do anything you require in the realm of real estate. We could list your home for sale, we could help you buy a new one. We do property management, commercial and residential leasing, and we can dish a massive assist when it comes to evaluating, purchasing, leasing, and managing investment property. Using myself and Lipsy Realty is like a home run, a slam dunk, rolled into one. It's awesome with a capital A, baby. You can find me online at lipsyrealty.com or call me at 362-8699. There's also a Lipsy Realty Facebook page. So give me a call, 901-362-8699, and we'll talk about how Lipsy Realty can assist you.
All right, welcome back. Ion Sports final segment. It's been a fun show. A lot of good stuff happening. Tiger basketball, lottery, Frank Vogel, John Beeline, Babe Howard.
Yeah, quickly, let me tell you about Babe Howard. Babe Howard and Babe Howard's family, I think Babe Howard's deceased, but his family are big supporters of the University of Memphis baseball program, and they continue to support the program, and every year Memphis plays a game out at Millington, the Babe Howard Classic. Babe Howard apparently was from Millington. He owned the phone company in Millington during the peak years of the Navy base out there. So he was able to make some sort of fortune owning the phone company in Millington. And he's been, like I said, he was a big supporter of Memphis baseball, and their family continues to be, thankfully, with much respect. And thus, tonight will be the Babe Howard Classic, and it should be a lot of people out there tonight for that game. They really try and they go to a bunch of schools in Millington to try and pump it up, and they give out rally towels, and it should be a nice thing. We had Senior Day back on Saturday.
Yeah,
it was very nice, and on Sunday was Mother's Day. We had a lot of the moms come up into the booth to do guest public address.
Nice.
Which is why I told you your friend came up and did it because she's like the team's second mom, so to speak. And it was pretty interesting.
How'd she do?
Your friend did fine. She was very loud and enthusiastic. I think some of the players were a bit embarrassed. We may have to tweak it a little bit because, the first mom that gets up there and she's like, "Now batting, my son, number 2." And I think they may have been, I don't.
Was that your idea or is that a tradition?
No. We just started it.
Okay.
It was just kind of a putting together of the heads of like, because we've done guest PA during the season. We did kids,
right?
And then we're like, maybe we should get the moms to come up. It's Mother's Day.
It's good idea.
And they enjoyed it, but I don't know if the players enjoyed it so much.
Sure. But, no, it's not about the players.
That's right. It's about me.
We'd be remiss if we didn't wish a happy birthday to the Talking Heads' David Byrne.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Jay. Excuse me. I already had this queued up.
Got a little Talking Heads here?
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you if you knew who David Byrne was.
Not only did I I think I've heard of him only because I think he was kind of the stock music, like when you got Napster or maybe like Microsoft Windows Media Player or whatever. David Byrne would have like the stock song.
I don't know if you've ever seen the concert movie Stop Making Sense.
So you were going to say, I don't know if you've ever seen Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. But this is from the live version from the Talking Heads concert movie. Yeah, it's really cool because the way they do it. Another famous Talking Head song called "Psycho Killer." Mm-hmm. When it is, Byrne comes out and it's just him, and he's got a tape recorder, and he plays like the drum beat off a tape recorder. And then they for song number 2, one band member comes out. In song number 3, they have a third band member come out. And so by the time they get to like the 8th song, now the full band plus the backup singers, everybody's out there. It's very cool, and it's great music. Talking Heads is one of my favorites. I love them.
How about Robert Zemeckis? Happy birthday, Robert.
Zemeckis, that's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, 67 years old. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Back to the Future, I think.
Yeah, both of them.
But isn't it crazy? Did you see who else's birthday is today? George Lucas.
Yeah, Georgie.
Two of the big ones.
Georgie Porgy.
Yeah. Hey, C.C. DeVille, man, don't mess around with Poison.
Hey.
Yeah.
Best Bob Zemeckis movie.
Best Bob Zemeckis movie. Ooh.
Some good ones.
Yeah. Back to the Future was on last night.
I mean, some really good ones. And what a range. Did he direct all these? Because some of these are comedies and some are most certainly not.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up his stuff right now.
He was a producer as well, screenwriter. But how about, I'll give you 2. One we mentioned last week, Romancing the Stone.
Okay.
And another one that I think really underrated, Flight. Flight, Ira, with Denzel. That is a really good film. Have you seen it?
I don't really agree with that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, that's a good film.
I think it's good. I mean,
very accurate portrayal of alcoholism.
I don't doubt that. I mean, whatever. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, that crash scene. Oh boy.
Yeah. See, a lot of times when you look at IMDb and you look at to see what they've produced or what they've directed, I want to look first at what they wrote.
Okay, Zemeckis.
Yeah, because what producing is just a matter. They can just
like cutting a check.
They can add you. Well, they can add you on as a producer if you assist in some way.
Yeah, he was producer in Flight. He was.
But he may have also been. He also directed Flight. So there you go.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, gosh darn it.
He directed Forrest Gump. He directed Back to the Futures. He directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He did direct Romancing the Stone. So what are my choices of the ones that I can choose between? You said Romancing the Stone or Flight?
Anything he directed,
I'm gonna go with, I didn't, like I said, Flight was good.
How about What Lies Beneath? How about Castaway?
See,
the guy loves a good crash scene, doesn't he?
Castaway. Creplock.
Hey, it's on enough.
I wouldn't know. I won't watch it.
Oh my God, it's on a lot.
But Romancing the Stone is a great movie. God, it's so good. It's funny.
Hey, how many Zemeckis movies start with a crash?
A ton.
Yeah,
tons. Hey, did you watch Romancing the Stone when you were like a kid?
Yeah.
How badly did you want to get stuck in a mudslide like they did in that one scene?
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm like, oh my God, can that please just happen to me somehow, somewhere, someday? And then Douglas ends up face, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's so
face
good.
down in her legs.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner. She was a good one.
She was a good one in that movie.
Was.
Yeah,
she's great.
When he chopped her heels off.
Interesting. If you think about Zemeckis and Kathleen Turner, and the circle of life, so to speak. So he does a lot of work with Tom Hanks, obviously Castaway. He does a lot of work. So you're talking about Zemeckis, Romancing the Stone, Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner, also the voice of Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to.
Right. So I mean, he's got like a lot of he works with a lot of the same people. So.
Oh my God, Ira! Breaking news.
Break it.
Tom Bowen has resigned.
What?
This is according to Gary Parrish. Allie Prescott will be the school's interim athletic director.
Allie Prescott? For real?
I'm not making this up.
Oh my gosh. I mean, okay. That's interesting.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Allie Prescott is like that may be a good move. I mean, I like he's a native Memphian, good guy.
Memphian. He's been around a long time. I think that'll definitely be.
What the hell happened there?
Unless maybe he has got some other.
Unless he took another job, that's probably scandal or a fight with Bowen or whatever. Whoa!
Rudd, you mean?
Oh, here's the fight with Rudd. Here's the article, commercial appeal. This is a big day. Do we have to go? How much time do we have? He stepped down. Allie Prescott named interim. Credited, oversaw athletic department's time to shine. Rudd announced in March he agreed to a 6-month deal. 2-year extension. They're not saying why. Just conference.
Yeah. I'm sure. I guess who's got a baseball game tonight?
Ira Lipsy, the Icon Sports.
I'll get the scoop.
Give me the scoop!
I'm going to scoop it.
Wow. Okay,
cool. Very interesting.
It's very interesting.
I mean, I'll say this right now: whoever comes in, if they hire the next person, normally they like to make their own way and get so and so whatever. How about don't do that?
Hey, here's what I know.
Oh, crud.
The Daily Memphian, the commercial appeal, and Gary Parrish all broke this at the same time, like with articles ready to go, which tells me somebody knew something and just wasn't. Like this doesn't all break at the same time.
Good morning. This is the old Trailblazer broadcast. This is Pastor Albert Pendarvis bringing you another old-time, old-fashioned gospel message on the old Trailblazer broadcast. Let me give you our website, if you would like to look it up there on your internet. It's www.radiomissions.org. Look us up there on your website. We have much material there about the old Trailblazer broadcast, the Voice of Truth broadcast, the Radio Bible and Book Room, the catalogs, and so forth. So you look us up there, if you will. We're coming back to our study here in Satan, the God of this world. In our last study, we looked at the great battle of Armageddon. We saw how that the Lord came back with his host riding on the white stallion, and all of that host of